out what girl he wanted. Andre would come to me, tell me what girl the recruit wanted, and I would tell the girl, and she would say her price. I would tell him. He would say, okay, give me the money. I pretty much would sometimes hand it to them. Sometimes he'd give it to him, and that was just it. He would take them into another room, and her and the recruit would do what they did behind closed doors.
That was Pitino Powell, a self-described escort and the woman behind the sex scandal that has rocked the University of Louisville men's basketball program. She says in her book, Breaking Cardinal Rules, that she helped organize nearly 24 on-campus parties involving strippers, stacks of money, and sex with escorts. According to Powell, those parties were mainly designed to lure high school-aged basketball recruits to sign with Louisville. Allegations that have since sparked both a criminal and NCAA investigation. We have now heard from Rick Pitino on these allegations, calling upon former graduate assistant coach Andre McGee to respond. Here's the quote. I don't know if any of this is true or not. There's only one person who knows the truth, and he needs to come out and tell the truth to his teammates, to the University of Louisville, to his fans, and to his coaches that have taught him to do the right thing for years and allowed him to be a part of something special here. He's the only one with any answers. If he's done the wrong, he needs to own up to it. He hasn't. He needs to say it's a lie. But the truth has to come out, and it can't be just to the NCAA. Skip. Pitino is putting this all on Andre McGee. What's your reaction?
Stephen A., my position hasn't changed from a day ago. Rick Pitino can blame his former assistant all he wants. He can point all the fingers he wants to point. In the end, he, Rick Pitino, still remains responsible. And I still believe, even more strongly than I did yesterday, that he could and should ultimately lose his job over this. In fact, I read in today's USA Today, there's language in Rick Pitino's contract. I assume there's language in every major college coach's contract that says he ultimately is responsible for the actions of any of his subordinates as they might impact the basketball program at the University of Louisville. But here's the sorry truth about this whole matter. It's very possible that Rick Pitino may not want to remain much longer at the University of Louisville, because I'm pretty sure the NCAA is going to really have to jump in with both feet here. I realize that Katina Powell, the accuser, says that she tried to call the NCAA and she got hung up on. I get that. And I can't condemn the NCAA for that, because they would say, who the heck is this? But now that she has written her book, she has spoken out, we have seen her on camera, she comes across as very convincing with lots of details. Lots of the details have been corroborated by outside the lines. It sounds pretty much like there's a very strong case here that Louisville offered lots and lots and lots of illegal inducements to recruits that went on over a 4-year period. What was it, 18 parties over 4 years? That's a lot of illegal inducements to a number of recruits. It's so widespread and far-ranging that I would think the penalties ultimately, it's going to take the NCAA a while to dig out from under all this and try to re-corroborate all those details. But when they come down, I believe they're going to have to come down hard on Louisville. I'm not going to go death penalty, because we only saw one of those, and I hope we never see another one like I saw at SMU in the mid-1980s. I don't want to see the program doomed and taken away and shut down. But I do think they're going to get hit hard over this. And when it comes, Rick Pitino's not going to want to be there. And I hate this about these situations. Ultimately, he won't have to really pay for the way that the players going forward are going to have to pay. The fans in Louisville are going to have to pay, because I think they're going to lose scholarships and postseasons, maybe a couple of them, before this is all said and done.
It's a tricky situation. We're going to be honest about it. I agree with everything that you said. There's no way for Rick Pitino to wiggle his way out of this, because ultimately, if it has a detrimental effect on a program, you are the individual deemed responsible. The buck stops with you. You are the CEO of the program. I think the athletic department should be brought into question as well, because it was their job to supervise the dorms.
That's fair.
And the fact that you have this going on inside a dormitory on campus, that's not just the responsibility of Rick Pitino, it's the responsibility of the athletic department. I don't just want to hear from Rick Pitino in regards to this, even though we've kind of heard enough. I want to hear from Tom Jurich, the athletic director. He has some things to answer for here himself, because if it was happening on campus, just don't spit in our face and tell us it's raining by telling us you didn't know anything. There's just no way that it could have happened in a dorm on that many occasions and you don't know. That's just utterly ridiculous. The flip side to it, and I guess they say we're supposed to be careful here. So be it. It's First Take. I'm just going to be real about this. Look, no form of prostitution, particularly when it comes to high school kids, should ever be condoned, applauded, allowed in any way. I want to make sure that I emphasize that, okay? But we also need to recognize that on college campuses, and I'm not trying to change the subject, but what I've been taken aback by is folks acting as if they're so surprised and so flabbergasted at what has transpired. What I'm surprised by is the stupidity on the part of the athletic department or the coach to allow something like this to have happened on campus facilities. That's where I'm shocked. If this was something that happened because the fellas went to a strip club or the fellas went to a club, I literally would be looking at people and saying, what's y'all problem? Because let me tell y'all something right now. This happens everywhere. I'm telling you right now, I would put my career, and I have a very, very nice career right now.
Yes, you do.
I would put my career on the line, swearing to you. On us, I want to say swearing, but swearing to you.
Giving your word,
Giving my word. That if you are a big-time recruit and you show up to a college campus, you are being greeted by somebody beautiful. Okay, I promise you that.
But it's a given. That's a long way from prostitution, right?
I agree with that. The thing that blows my mind, where the plausible deniability falls into the way of a Rick Pitino, is that I'm sitting here and saying, not only is this stupid, this is incredibly unnecessary. Because I got news for you. Rick Pitino don't have to do something like that. Not just because he's a great coach. I'm literally saying to you, Skip, there doesn't have to be a prostitute. There doesn't have to be a stripper. You can literally have women on campus that ain't doing anything wrong other than to stand there and say hello.
I get what you're saying.
Literally, if you walk on that campus as a high school kid and you see a bunch of fine women all over the place, you're going to go like this. I want to be here. It's just that simple. So where Rick Pitino to me can make the argument is, why would I need to do that? Why would I need to do that? That argument actually makes sense because you really don't have to do that. You literally can have beautiful women to stand at the door and say, hi, welcome to Louisville. And that's it. And those guys will be like, man, I want to come here. It's just that simple. So I don't understand. Like,
but obviously there are beautiful girls at the other schools too.
But what I'm trying to say to you is that, again, you're not going to get, I mean, the fact that you can sit up there and get some strippers to act, you know, do what they do. Really? That's not going to, come on. That's not going to do, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, that ain't going to do it. That's not going to do it. So I just don't see it the way everybody else does. Of course, apparently something has happened. We need to be clear. It cannot be condoned, particularly for an institution of higher learning with underage high school kids. So the bottom line, this should be happening. We get that part. I'm simply saying where I lean towards Rick Pitino a little bit is that it really makes no sense because it's so flagrantly stupid for it to be happening on campus that I can't believe he would be that stupid.
In Minority Hall, named after his late brother-in-law who died in 9/11.
I find it hard to believe that he would be that stupid. But last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, it's just not necessary. You don't. All you have to do is have somebody there. Hi, welcome to Louisville. We hope you come to this school.
Okay, but
Maybe
clearly
need to step it up a notch.
the ex-assistant, who was then a graduate assistant, apparently he thought they needed a little more of an edge.
Well, again, he might have thought that, but I find it hard to believe that somebody of Rick Pitino's stature would allow such flagrant stupidity to occur, because to have it on campus, that's just stupid.
Well, as I said yesterday, if you're going to parade, it was like 20 girls at a time dressed as dancers into the dorm, you don't think that's going to cause a lot of commotion?
Listen. Here's the deal. If you're Rick Pitino, and again, I can't absolve him. He looks guilty because this happened on his watch.
Yep.
There's no question. He can't be absolved.
No.
Whether he knew or not, ultimately the buck stops with him. He can't get around it, especially after what Larry Brown just suffered from.
Yep.
He can't get around that. The flip side to it is that it is entirely possible that Rick Pitino knew about parties at Louisville, but not necessarily what the parties entailed. They're having parties. Guys, college, the basketball program? I mean, have you been on a big-time college campus, a big-time basketball program?
Yes.
You don't exactly have to pursue much. Folks come to you. That's just the truth.
Mm-hmm. And these are for recruits, not for current players.
But the recruits are part of the program because they're being recruited. They ain't ask you to come. You asked them to come to the campus to a visit because you're interested in having them, which means keeping the program afloat, okay? And when you're willing to pay this money and all of this other stuff, I'm trying to tell you, go back and see He's Got Game. Go back and see, Blue Chips. Go back and see the stuff that comes these athletes' way. You just don't need to do this. It almost happens naturally.
Okay, although yesterday you were making the case this goes on a lot of places and we don't hear about it. Well, maybe that was Louisville's mentality. It's going on a lot of places. We have to compete.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. You can't rule anything out. All I'm saying is that Rick Pitino, as wrong as he is, because he's the CEO of the program, does have plausible deniability when it comes to him saying, look, I didn't know about this, because it's entirely possible that his basketball team was just up in there having a party.
The hardest part for me with this story was the woman involving her daughters in the prostitution. That was the hardest part for me.
Let's just call it what it is. That's it. We didn't want to go there, but I'll say it. It was trifling. It was trifling. You sitting there and prostituting your own children.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just disgraceful.
And by the way, my first question yesterday was, wait a second, she can't be charged with prostitution?
Exactly.
And it's a 1-year statute of limitations, so it
And
ran out.
she was, I give her credit for this much. She has been unapologetic in her agenda. Look, I did it for the money.
Yeah.
I ain't apologizing for it. I'm like, well, damn. That actually made her more believable.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave that there. We want to make the playoffs. We don't want fans looking at us crazy. That's how Bills defensive tackle Marcel Darius feels. So why won't Rex let him? We'll fill you in after the break.